What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here and love all things Raiders, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's dive right into today's topic. It's week 2 of the NFL regular season, and the Las Vegas Raiders are up for a tough challenge. We're hitting the road to face the one Baltimore Ravens. Both teams are coming off a loss, so you can bet they'll be fired up, hungry to get their first win of the season. We all know how critical it is to avoid going 0-2. Statistically, teams that start with 2 losses have a much harder time making the playoffs. So this game is huge for the Raiders. Let's be real. The Ravens are considered serious Super Bowl contenders. They made it to the AFC Championship last year and are a consistent playoff team. On the other hand, the Raiders are still figuring things out. It's our first season under head coach Antonio Pierce, and we're still trying to see how everything fits: our quarterback, the offensive coordinator, and the whole system. There are a lot of moving pieces that need to come together quickly if we want to stand a chance. The Ravens are 8.5-point favorites going into this matchup, so the odds are stacked against us. This is going to be an uphill battle for the Raiders, no question about it. If we want to pull off the upset, everyone needs to be locked in: offense, defense, special teams, and the coaching staff. We need all hands on deck. One thing to remember is that these early East Coast games haven't always been kind to us. Just last year, in week 2, we faced a similar situation against the Buffalo Bills. And, well, we got crushed. Let's hope history doesn't repeat itself. The Raiders have to come in ready to compete and execute on both sides of the ball. So, let's talk about what we need to do to beat the Ravens and have a real shot at winning this game. First, let's focus on the offense, because that was definitely our weakest point in week 1. Garoppolo struggled, especially after that fumble. It looked like he lost all his confidence, and the offense really fell apart after that. We turned the ball over 3 times, and I can tell you right now, if we turn it over like that again, we won't win this game. We have to protect the football. Last week, we only put up 10 points, and you can't win many games in today's NFL scoring that little, especially not against a Ravens team loaded with talent on both sides of the ball. They have Lamar Jackson, a dynamic quarterback, and a strong running game. If the Raiders want a chance to pull off the upset, we need to clean things up on offense. In my opinion, the Raiders need to score at least 17 to 24 points to have a real shot at winning. Anything less than that, and it's going to be tough, unless our defense plays lights out, which is a big ask against the Ravens. The offense needs to step up and give the defense some help by putting points on the board. I'd love to see the Raiders take more deep shots down the field, but a big part of getting more points will depend on the offensive line. Last week, they struggled badly, especially against the Chargers' defensive line. We need to see better run blocking, so we can get the ground game going. Zamir White didn't look great last week, and honestly, backup Alexander Mattison seemed to perform better. Whoever has the hot hand should get the ball. We need to establish the run if we want to succeed. On top of that, the offensive line has to hold up in pass protection, especially if we want to take deep shots to someone like Trey Tucker. I'm also curious to see how offensive coordinator Luke Getsy adjusts from last week. His play calling felt very vanilla, too conservative at times. Hopefully, we'll see a more aggressive and creative approach in this game, because we need the offense to come alive if we want a chance to win. Now, let's move on to the second key to victory: defense. The Raiders' defense has a huge task, containing Lamar Jackson. To me, Lamar is the most electrifying quarterback in the NFL. He's probably the best athlete in the entire league, and his ability to make plays with his legs makes him extremely difficult to stop. The Raiders have to find a way to limit him. Honestly, Lamar is the kind of quarterback that keeps defensive coordinators awake at night, and I'm sure Patrick Graham is working hard to figure out how to contain him. One key to this will be using a quarterback spy, someone who can shadow Lamar and try to neutralize his running ability. We'll need a guy with speed to keep up. I imagine Isaiah Pola-Mao might be a good fit, or maybe they'll use an athletic linebacker like Amari Burney. Either way, this matchup will be critical. We also need to create pressure on Lamar from up front. If we can force him to stay in the pocket and beat us with his arm, as a traditional pocket passer, we'll have a better chance. But if we let him escape the pocket, make plays with his legs, or throw on the move, it's going to be a long day for the Raiders. Lastly, the defensive line needs to show improvement in stopping the run. They did a decent job in week 1, but we'll need even more from them this week to keep Lamar and the Ravens' running game in check. What really hurt us last time were those 2 big runs we gave up. Sure, for most of the game, the defense held up well against the run, but you can't allow 30, 40, or 50-yard gains on the ground. That's a killer. especially against a guy like Derrick Henry. Once he gets past the line of scrimmage and picks up speed, he's almost impossible to bring down. So the Raiders need to limit those big plays, not just from Lamar Jackson, but from their running backs too. We have to force them to beat us through the air. For the Raiders to pull off an upset against the Ravens, we're going to need a bit of luck on our side. We'll also need to generate a turnover or two to win this game. Winning the turnover battle is key. It starts with the offense protecting the ball, but the defense has to come up big and create turnovers as well. We need to steal some possessions. Whether it's an interception, a fumble recovery, Lamar Jackson can be prone to fumbling under pressure, or something that flips the game in our favor. If we can get a turnover that leads to a touchdown, whether it's a pick six or a scoop and score, that could be the momentum shift we need to win. Overall, a lot has to go right for the Raiders to win this one. Baltimore is a serious team, and they're going to be playing with urgency. They don't want to start 0-2. The Raiders need to come in with that same intensity and match their energy. And aside from the offense and defense, I also want to see growth from head coach Antonio Pierce. He's got to get better with in-game decisions, especially in key situations. Last week, he was too aggressive early in the game, going for it on fourth down deep in our own half. But then, when it mattered most, in the fourth quarter with us down by 6, past midfield on a 4th and 1, he chose to punt. All the analytics showed he should have gone for it, but he didn't, and that ended the game for us. Pierce is still a young head coach, so he's going to make mistakes, but he needs to learn and improve quickly. Being completely honest, this is going to be a tough matchup for the Raiders. The Ravens are the better team, both in terms of talent and coaching. There are a lot of challenges we'll have to overcome. Realistically, I think the Raiders might lose this one, but this is the NFL. Anything can happen on any given Sunday. So we'll have to see how it plays out. Raider Nation, I want to hear from you. How confident are you heading into this game against Baltimore? Do you think the Raiders have a legitimate chance to pull off the upset? Let me know in the comments below. And for those of you new to the channel, if you enjoy Raider-related content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.